What is going on, guys, and welcome to the Bought to Build YouTube channel. So in today's video we're going to be working on the L5P DURAMAX. We keep getting a check engine light for a glow plug, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. We will start the truck up, check the code, and we will go from there. Alright, let's go ahead and start this thing up. As you can see, the check engine light stays. Sorry, it's going into high idle here, but let's go ahead and check that code. So a PO676, cylinder 6 glow plug circuit open. So let's go ahead and go get a glow plug for it and get this thing taken care of. Alright guys, so the glow plug that we had picked up is a AC Delco. Part number is right there for you guys. Now, something I recommend doing when you go ahead and order these things is they don't actually come with the little nut, this nut here. And depending on what kind of shape yours is in, I recommend getting that nut. I threw out the bag. Sorry guys, I don't have the part number for it, but any GM dealer, just tell them you want the nut for the glow plug and they'll be able to get it for you. On this truck, I probably could have gone ahead and reused it, but I didn't want to take it apart and then decide, so I just figured for whatever the nut costs, just get it and we'll put a new one on it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get after it. Alright guys, so it looks like the first step is going to be to go ahead and get the fender liner out. And for that we're going to go ahead and use a T15 Torx bit. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll put you guys on time lapse. Alright guys, so we got the fender well out. What took me so long, you could probably see me in the time lapse messing around with something. And what was kicking my butt were the rock light wiring, because I actually didn't put these ones in myself. And the way they had them in was just a nightmare. I was gonna just follow the wire back and then unplug it back farther, but that wiring goes all the way to the module, which it was just not worth unrunning like all those wires, or that wire all the way out here for both of those. So this one here, I was able to cut the zip tie and get some slack in it enough to hang it down out of the way. And then this one, I was able to just make a little notch in the liner that this is going to cover when it's back up anyways. So I did that and I was able to slide it through. But for you guys that don't have rock lights or anything, It's super easy. A bunch of those T20 or T15 Torx bits, and then there's a one little screw up here, and other than that, I mean, the thing pretty much comes right out. So let's go ahead and get this glow plug out. So I don't know if you guys can see in there. Let me get the light turned up. So this right here, that's one of the glow plugs. That's number, so it'd be 2, 4. I think that's cylinder number 4 glow plug. The one we need to change is actually right back here behind the steering shafts, kinda. But we'll get in there and get after it. But first thing is, if you guys don't already know, which some of you might, but the first thing that we're gonna do is, now that I got that fender out of the way, we're actually gonna start the truck up and just let it run for quite a while, a good 20 minutes, probably half hour, just because any bit of heat will help. The last thing you want is to break one of those things off in there. Then it's a lot bigger job than what we signed up for. So I'm hoping that if I start the truck up and let it run for a while, that the heat might just help it come out. I mean, the truck doesn't have a lot of miles on it, but it's getting some miles now. We just rounded a little over 65, I think, 65,000. So it's getting up there for these glow plugs on these L5Ps. I mean, it's a common issue. I know some guys, one of my buddies actually, he's got 15,000 miles on his truck, and he had a glow plug code too. So it's not out of the usual for these things. But let's go ahead and start this thing up and let it run a while, and then we will go ahead and get that glow plug out. All right guys, so we let the truck sit here and idle for a while. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down, and then we'll go ahead and pop that glow plug out. I'll make sure to give you guys the torque spec when I go to put the new glow plug in. So let's go ahead and kill it. It's up to 178, which is plenty warm. It's been sitting here for probably almost an hour. So let's kill that, and let's get in here and get this plug out. All right, so first off, the nut here that goes on the glow plug that holds the wire, that is 8mm, and then the glow plug itself is 10mm. So let's go ahead and get our sockets and extensions, and we'll get in there and get this one out. That's the little trick. You just use a piece of paper towel or shop towel. You can use tape, and it just keeps it like it keeps the nut so it doesn't fall out as easy. So you should use a smaller piece though, because with a piece this big, I guess it could get caught and then pull your nut out, but it worked for me. All right, let's try getting the glow plug itself out now. Seems like it's going nice and easy. Glad we warmed up the truck first. I'm only using a 1/4" drive ratchet, so. Still warm, obviously, because we ran the truck, but looks decently burnt up. Not terrible. I guess about what you'd expect for a 60,000 mile truck. Nothing broke off it though, which is a good thing. So All right, let's go ahead and get the new one out and start putting that one in. All right, so this new one, you want to try to slide it in nice and carefully. You don't want to bang it off things or tap it off stuff. And then just go ahead and try to get it started by hand. Alright. Get the little 1/4" ratchet out. Then once we get it a little snug, like that, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to a torque wrench, and I'll give you guys the torque here in a second. All right guys, sorry if you're hearing a leaf blower in the background, but the body of the glow plug gets torqued to 13 foot-pounds. If you look online, they've got, it's a little bit of controversy whether it's 10 or 13. We're gonna go 13 for a couple reasons. A, 10, nothing on this truck really gets torqued that low. 13 is still low enough as it is, but also because you can't get in there with the torque wrench without a bunch of extensions, and obviously extensions are gonna lessen the torque output for when the torque wrench clicks. So we're just gonna go with 13. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. So let's go ahead and get that torqued up, and then we can start putting the nut and the wire back on and fire this thing up and see if our code's gone. All right guys, I'm gonna use the same trick I did taking the nut off. Little piece of shop towel or paper towel, rag, whatever works for you, piece of tape. And then we're just gonna carefully try to feed it through here. I mean, the paper towel will hold it decently, but if you can help it, don't flip it upside down and stuff. Don't bang it off everything in sight, you know. But if you're careful with it, it should work just fine for you. There we go. It's getting snug now. You can go ahead and grab that little piece of paper towel now that it's on there, and then we'll go ahead and get that tightened down too and get this thing back together. Oh, one thing I do want to mention is the wire there. You want to make sure that that wire is about where it was when you took it apart. Doesn't have to be where you had it when you took it apart. Just make sure it's off that manifold, because that's going to get pretty hot when you're getting on this thing, and you don't want to melt that wire up. So let's go ahead and get that thing tightened down. Now, just something I like to do before I go putting everything all back together again is I'm going to come in here, get the edge to turn on, and then we're going to go in and clear our code. Once this thing loads, there we go. Go in here. Trouble codes again. Gonna go ahead and clear all. Codes have been cleared. Now let's go ahead and try to start this thing up. And the check engine light is out. We will go ahead, I'll take you guys for a ride to make sure, because it used to come on pretty much all the time. So let's go ahead and throw this fender back on, and then we'll take this thing for a nice little ride. Usually when I have to take this trim piece off here, I clean it all out because it catches all the dirt and stuff. I clean out in behind there. And then another thing I do is I replace the double-sided tape. They only put like a piece here, here, and there. I do the whole thing, and then the same thing up here. Just helps it stick a lot better. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. Alright guys, so we got the wheel boil back all in her. Got the rock lights up. Everything's buttoned up here. Let's go ahead and close the hood and try remote start. I kept clearing the code, but I wanted remote start again, especially with winter being here. You don't realize how much you like something until you don't have it for a while. So alright, so the remote start worked. Now let's just turn the key, make sure we don't have any light. No check engine light. It's actually really nice not having a check engine light now. So it's running. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing for a ride here in a minute, guys. Just make sure it doesn't pop back on. If you guys don't already, make sure you check me out on Instagram. Alright guys, we just went to Dunkin' and got us a coffee. Still no check engine light, so that's good. Alright guys, so we just got back from the test drive with this thing. The check engine light is still off, so that's a great thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the video when we took it for a ride there, it definitely feels like the transmission's starting to slip. Not a huge surprise to me. I knew when we turned this thing up and added everything else and tuned it and all that stuff that the transmission was going to be on borrowed time. It is a stock Trendz, so I mean, it's been turned up for probably about 20,000 miles now, so not huge news, but that just means that the built transmission we wanted to go with might just have to happen sooner rather than later. So it's more of an excuse to do something with it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and close out this video here, guys. Thanks for checking out the Bought to Build YouTube channel. If you like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. We will have a lot more content coming with this truck, the GTO, building a fuel system, and all that other good stuff. And then, of course, with the Hellcat here coming up soon. So, once again, guys, thanks for spending some time with us here, and we will catch you on the next one.